conflict as a discipline and a necessary tool to implement their projects, because a lot of places where they work, it's all is conflict in post-conflict settings. If you don't embrace some of the things that we preach as a discipline, then you're not going to be effective, or you're going to cause more problems. And I really like looking at some of those things and seeing that it's catching on as a discipline. The next slide is insight mediation. This was one of those quick weekend courses that I took. You slide out Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and really try to hold on to everything as best as you can, even though it's really quick. It was a good augmentation to the reflective practice course, because it just gave me, I don't want to say a tool for a toolbox, because I don't know why it's really cliche metaphor, but it gave me another instrument for my instrument box. Anyways, insight mediation is looking for facilitation methods through what's called digging and showing. So it's like you're in the middle of a facilitation, you're listening to people talking, you really try to dig and bring out what the issues are, and it was called a threat to care. Like you find something when someone's talking, and you look at the concepts and things that they're saying, and you really try to pinpoint what is it that they care about. And when you touch on that, they'll have a little reaction to the threat to care, and that kind of helps you identify what the real issue is. And the idea is to bring that to the surface so that all parties understand that, and understand what the roots and causes of the problem are. And then you can kind of put people in each other's shoes, help each party understand the other, and come to a resolution through that. And I think it's kind of limited in its use. I think it's better for person-to-person, small-scale mediation. I think you can apply it. You'd have to tweak it, I'm sure, but you can take the philosophy and try to apply it to a large-scale transnational setting. I'm not sure what John Burton would have thought about that, but I don't know. It is a very useful tool, I believe. And then the most recent thing before this semester was my summer abroad, study abroad. Over the summer, studying grassroots conflict resolution in the southern Philippines, which is where I am right now. And then I'm actually on a small island called Zamboanga, the Zamboanga Peninsula, in Zamboanga City. And I work for a development contractor, and we're trying to set up a governance strengthening project here for USAID. And my company sent me because through this course I got a really strong look at the grievances and drivers and the cultural context and holistic understanding of a very diverse and niche, I would say, conflict here in the Mindanao. I mean, it's so broad, and depending on what island you're in, it's going to look different with different people, with different actors, with different motivations, and it's so ridiculously diverse. But the course that I did with Al Fuertes was amazing. I mean, really getting into some of these things, some of these issues from lack of basic service delivery from local governance, poverty, marginalization of indigenous peoples, and elitism, and all these things that affect and drive the conflict here. I really feel like I have a strong understanding of it, and as strong as an outsider can have without studying it for 20 years or being from here and speaking one of the hundreds of different dialects that goes on here. Because I mean, we can never truly understand something like this. I don't know. It was just one of those. I didn't expect to get that much out of the course, but I got a strong understanding of what it means, what we mean when we say grassroots, and what a grassroots implementation entails. It needs to be elicited from a small community, so that they're telling you what you need, and you're not coming in and telling them what they need. It's learning what their indigenous or traditional methods for conflict resolution are, and strengthening those structures to help them solve the problems themselves, as opposed to you trying to do it for them. I think it's the only type of method that I think would work here in the Philippines. And I've been trying to preach that to my company with this project, that you can't have any type of intervention or implementation here without understanding the very acute conflict issues that go on here. So my big push for this project, like my screaming with my little bitty voice, as young as I am, in the discipline, that we have to have a conflict mitigation specialist from the area who's been doing this like knee-deep in the work for the past like 10, 20 years, and someone who can inform the project as it evolves to the conflict dynamics, so that every little project or implementation that we try to launch is sensitive to the conflict needs and the needs of the small-scale communities that we're working in. And they listen to me. So I'm working on employing. I met him the other day, and we're working on actually going through all the paperwork. But I won, so we got a conflict mitigation specialist on the project. So, yay! But that's my trip through the CAR. And if you go to the next slide, you see the CAR discipline map, and this is me trying to conceptualize the framework that I have in my mind for the discipline that's evolved over the past 2 years. You see on the two sides, you have theory and practice. Branching up from both, you have research. I think research, you can practice research, and then it's also a big element of the theory. And the field research, I think, kind of connects the two. That's when you're doing field research, I think that's integrated theory and practice. You get from the theoretical research branches up the top left corner to theory development. Those are the people, adding to the body of writing that we have to read so much of, adding to the lexicon, and also digging critical analysis at the current theories, and just continually trying to evolve the CAR field of study and practice. On the top right-hand corner, when you're practicing research and practicing in the practice branch, I put the instruction, the institutional, the teachers who pass on knowledge to the next generation. Exhibit A, I give you Mark Goodale. Take it out, Mark. Then dropping down from the practice, you have the conflict mitigation, and I had that branching off into two cells, like the facilitation, the mediation, negotiation aspect of the practice, and then the conflict, post-conflict development and reconstruction, utilizing the lens or the discipline in that fashion, which is where I'm where I want my career to go. And then under theory in the bottom left, you have the institutional development branching off into question marks, because I think it's still a fledgling discipline. It's only just now starting to take hold, grasp root, whatever, in the world, in the development world, and throughout governments. People, and even in the corporate world, people are starting to recognize this as a necessary field of practice that can be applied in ways that I don't even think we expect to see it yet. But I don't think there's any. I don't know. We can. There's no way to say. What am I looking for? There's nothing holding us back. We have no idea where the field's going to go, but it's continually developing. We're continually learning and finding more uses every day. I think that's really exciting. It's really exciting time to be part of SCAR. It's really cool when being overseas and talking to someone about the field, and they're like, "Oh, George Mason, SCAR, yes, I've heard of it." It's just it's really cool to be part of that. I think we should all be excited for that reason. But thank you for your time. Sorry if this was boring. Sorry if it was too long. I should be back in class next Monday. If you have any questions, please put them on the Ning, and I will be